I'm Abby, and I am making another video on the infinite universe, something I did not anticipate I would be doing for a third time today, but seems that there's a lot of pull and push for me to share more on the subject, more than I really seem to know a lot about, but I'm just going to tell you. So part 1 and part 2, those videos I made about the infinite universe, I shared diagrams about the infinite time loop, which is the 8 symbol on its side, and then I still have those in fact, so I might as well just use them since we're going to go there. Okay, so here we have, and I made several drawings here on my new page to show you new stuff. But here's the original. This is what I had drawn to show you the infinite time loop. So everything dark and everything light, and the existence of all things in creation, all spiritual, all physical creation as one. All dark, all light, all death, birth, hate, love, all this stuff. So you have two spectrums that are combined as one. And you have, the infinite loops. You have these two circles, and when the circles combine, you have one circle. And that one circle, which I have a series of new drawings for you, which this I think is even worse than the other ones, but it still I think does the trick. So I'll show you the new my new drawings. So I have what is still, the 8, and then the 8 on its side to make an infinite time loop. And I went into a little bit more. So here we have all, and we have dark, the yin and the yang, dark and light as one. And everything that is one is also, we are all part of oneness. We all connect with one. Now the new thing that I was shown after I made part 2, which was all this information, so to have a spiritual connection, you receive information in ways that are not typically experienced by human beings. So what feels like your imagination is far more a real world than you're aware. And so after I made part 2 about what is the illusion of time and the illusion of distance, after I made that video, I was immediately shown what is like a DNA strand, a spiral, and I was shown the circle of all, and inside the circle is a spiral, like a DNA strand, so like this. And I'm sorry it isn't extraordinarily perfect or anything, and I tried to make a really nice spiral over here, because it was a super spiral, and then here's more of a spiral, so you can kind of see it going up and down, but it really made me think of a DNA strand. And then I have all these little areas here, and so in the image that I was shown very briefly after I made part 2, which this information is coming through to me from a spirit world, from what I actually feel could also be alien communication, but sometimes it is difficult to know for sure, and I only want to share what I definitely feel confident I know in my heart. It feels right to me. So it's definitely from high vibrational energy that this image was shown to me. And so what we have again, that's the spiral and the circle, and then what I saw literally within just several seconds was literally everything, all of time, the infinite time, which is no beginning and no end. And inside I saw this spiral, and then I also saw what were so many, what could be tiny little boxes, but tiny little sparks of information, and so many that it was like compartments of all times and all places and all dimensions and all of the experiences of all creation, of all physical and spiritual worlds. And it was so many, and it was so much. It was just like a flash of all the colors in the light spectrum, and it was just all combined, and it was all sort of based on, the layout was all sort of based on the spiral. And so I think that the whole point of what was shown to me was to help me see how I can exist. So in a realm where there's no time, you know, there is no past, present, or future. There's only now. There's only a present moment. So all previous incarnations, so I had discussed my awareness of what is reincarnation, and this is not a belief system to me. I say believe in reincarnation, but it is such an awareness to me. I don't know how it's not perceived in any other way. That is the only way that it exists. The nature and cycle of existence exists in this way, and so in an infinite universe where there's no time, all of your previous incarnations, along with your current incarnation, along with all your future incarnations, are all taking place simultaneously, and there's different sort of layers of all the different possibilities, of all the different infinite possible experiences of life, and I'm just one person. There's, you know, almost 8 billion people on this planet now, and it's just one planet, and one planet is just like me. I'm just one person. Now just take 8 billion planets, and that doesn't even come close to skimming the surface of what exists. Like, that isn't even close to what exists. And just imagine all of the lifetimes, previous lifetimes, current, future lifetimes. Every single thing is simultaneously taking place. There is no time. There is timelessness. And this is what was shown to me. This was what was shown to me. It's more than just, you know, all the dark and all the light combine and create a whole, and it is a connection of all. It was also an explanation for how it is in existence that all things, past, present, and future, are taking place simultaneously, and it had everything to do with this spiral that exists. And the spiral then it was up and down, so it was like compartments of a ginormous infinite apartment building, and there were all the compartments of all the experiences, of all the feelings, of all the everything that is ever taking place in an infinite universe. And so that I really wish I had more of an explanation for what this was all about, but it was profound enough that I had to just draw this, and I had to create another video to share it. So I'm okay. So the more I make these videos, the more it seems like information. So okay, so the next thing that I'm being told to share with you is an experience that I had at the playground. So I have children, and we go to the playground together, and this experience is really where all of this information began, and it sort of began even before that, but I'll start by telling you about the experience I had at the playground. And so we were there, and there were swings, and so my kids were running around playing, and my son was on one swing and I was on another swing. And so these swings are pretty awesome because the chains are really long, so you can go super, super high into the sky, and it's almost like you could kick the tree branches, so it's like really fun to go on those swings. And this was the first time that this experience has ever happened while on a swing, and it was pretty extraordinary. But as I was swinging, the higher that I got into the air, the more I started to perceive the universe itself. And the universe was it was so close to me. I'm just going to try very hard to explain what is unexplainable, what I saw. And so I'll just describe how I perceived it while on the swing. The first perception I had was literally like the tree branches weren't exactly attached to the tree, or the sky wasn't attached to the sky, or the branch and the sky were It was all very strange, like it was a pretend, a fake sort of connected world that wasn't quite connecting right. And the connections were so strange that I could feel the impact of a dark physical and spiritual realm almost in such a way that I could also simultaneously feel the intensity of the light and realm of the infinite physical spiritual realm of light. And they were both right there, like the circles, and they were both sort of like they're constantly sort of at a it felt like I could die right now or I could live right now, just as there's just as much possibility of something tragic happening right now as something amazing happening right now. And it was so freaky because it was like the fabric of everything I was seeing was freaking out, and it was a complete intense, like magnetic, what felt like a magnetic push between darkness and lightness combining as one and determining what the fabric of my experience was going to be. The fabric of everything I was seeing was going to be and it wasn't like, it was just like creation itself. It was just as simple as creation itself was just existing. And for some reason I was seeing creation itself altering in a way that it was not normal at all. And the more I swang, and obviously the experience of swinging was like super skyrocketing my like happy feelings because it was making me laugh and I was having so much fun because it kept going so much higher and it was getting scarier. And the higher I got, the more I started to see this repetitive, every time I got up close to the tree branches it would happen where the fabric of reality was not the same experience as it should be. It was literally what was light and dark. And it felt like ripping, and it just felt like everything dark was just as much there as everything light, and everything destructive was just as much there as everything creative, and it was somehow altering my perception of the physical world. Like the tree branch and the sky and the playgrounds and everything just were not connecting together, and all I could really see was the circles. Like this, but it was sort of blended into the world I live in, my reality. And since that strange moment, I've been thinking a lot about talking to people about what I'm aware of is, you know, the connection of all, because that's so important to me. It's so important to me that people know that they are already connected to the spirit world. It's so important to me that people know that they are just as much dark as they are light, and that not to be afraid of the dark, because they can choose to experience dark or choose to experience light, and they have that right. They have the right to say no to dark. You always have that right. And so, since that day at the playground, which, you know, sort of inspired these videos, and you know, before that day at the playground, I was really, you know, obviously we have Halloween coming up, so, you know, I've been thinking a lot about the dark expressions of the universe, and I've created a video about evil spirits and my experience with that, because I have experiences in just about everything spiritual or alien related, except I've never stepped on a spaceship before. That I feel confident I have not done that. So before I had the moment at the playground, you know, my son really is interested in Slender Man and wants to be Slender Man for Halloween, so I've been trying to figure out how I will create this costume for him. And so in the process of that, because every thought and fantasy and all of that actually exists in real life, there is a real expression that is Slender Man that does actually exist in the dark realm, and he actually has manifested himself into people's world, into the physical world through people's dreams and fantasies, and he is actually a real entity. And since I've been creating this costume, I've been noticing him, because I can, it's just a part of, it's just so normal to me more, and, you know, anything dark and evil is just, it doesn't really affect me like it you would think that it would affect me, but I know who and what I am. I am an extremely high vibrational spirit. I'm an extremely strong soul, and there's no amount of darkness that can override the beautiful expression that I am, and that I choose to be, and that I choose to surround myself with. So for me, it's just like, you know, riding on a bus and seeing somebody outside the window, and that's sort of what that reality came to me as. And so I was quite surprised to discover that indeed, yes, that is actually a true expression. And so I've been thinking more about the darker side of the you know, the infinite universe. And so as I've been thinking more about that, obviously I am becoming more connected with that information, and sort of inspired me to create a video to talk about the darker spiritual realm. And then, because I've been contemplating this so much, then in the process of having this extraordinary, joyful experience on the swing, I started to perceive how real and how connected the fabric of reality is with darkness and with light, and how it is the DNA strand that is the fabric, that is the creation of every single tiny little particle in the air, in the trees, in your skin, in your everything. Everything is all of these spirals, all these tiny little fragments of this. It was just like, this could be humongous, this could be what feels like humongous, it could be like, feels like everything, and this could be so tiny. So tiny, and almost just absolutely non-existent, but it is a reflection of every single thing. Everything is made up of this. Somehow, this spiral and this infinite time loop that is a oneness, a whole, and then you have all of this magnitude of everything. And that was literally what happened at the playground. It was the fabric of all of creation was this infinite, it was not the same. It was like, it was just so many tiny little spirals that weren't quite like creating the reality in the way you should see it. It wasn't normal. I wasn't perceiving it the way it should lay together. It wasn't laying together right at all. It was different. It was different in a way that I can't describe. It's sort of like, you know, the book The Giver, or they have the movie The Giver now, and the boy is trained to have feelings and memories and all of this, and he perceives color, you know, in a moment in his life, and he has no ability to describe what it was that he saw, because he'd never seen color before. So for him it was like, how do you describe what it was you saw? So for me, how do I describe what it was that I saw on the swing? It was different. And it is all related back to this spiral that I was shown after I made part 2 of the video, to help you perceive how all things are happening simultaneously. The fabric of all creation, everything is based off this spiral, which is a part of our DNA strand. It is already a part of us. That tiniest little DNA strand is inside of us, and all of our cells, and everything that is us, that is everything that is me, everything that is you. Each one of us has a unique little DNA strand, and that DNA strand goes beyond just us as a creation. It is like literally the fabric of every single creation, every single particle of air, every single tiniest little particle that makes up a leaf, that makes up the clouds, that makes up a little grain of sand, that makes up everything. Everything is made up of these spirals. And so on a micro level, everything is made up of the spirals. On a super macro level, everything is somehow combined, because it's like the glue of everything is the spiral. So that is all that I'm going to share right now, and I'll continue to share more with you. I'm just going to see if anything else happens, which is, I'm waiting to get some signal from the universe that I'm supposed to tell you about something else, but it's not happening, and I'm sort of exhausted telling you about the spiral, so I'm just going to stop there for now, and we'll just see what comes up, and then I'll make another video and as information comes to me. So hopefully this was you found this valuable, and I will be making lots more videos. I say that every time, so subscribe to my channel, and you can visit my website. It's abbynormalswisdomquest.com. And thank you for watching.